going to go to Finger Lakes National Forest, the only national forest in New York State. And as its name implies, it's in the Finger Lakes. It's in between the two largest Finger Lakes, Cayuga Lake and Seneca Lake. And it sits astride the ridge on that piece of land between those two lakes that's sometimes called the Hector Backbone. The National Forest in October marked some old white pine trees to be cut as part of a timber sale to a private logging company that would bid for it.
One thing I think is particularly important is you see up there these old emergent white pine. This is something that the Indians and the first settlers saw. You know, the white pine way above the canopy of the forest. And how sad it is that if you look on this entire horizon here for what is clearly for several miles, this is the only place on the whole horizon that you see emergent white pine sticking up the way the forest used to be. So it is so important that we leave at least some little area so people can know how the forest once appeared. And most importantly is, look how beautiful they look. I mean, that's most important of all, that they belong there and should always be there for people to see. These are pretty remarkable trees, and yeah, maybe argued that they're not the biggest or tallest, although I say, you know, it's a darn good bet that they're right at the very best that this forest has. And why eliminate them? I guess that's what it comes down to. Why? I try as I might, I'm trying to understand how it helps the ecology of this forest stand to take them out of here. I don't see that in any way. I can see how I would cut the hell out of a lot more diseased trees in here to get rid of the basal area. There's a lot of diseased oak that were left here unmarked. But taking what I think are the crown jewels of this stand out, I'm kind of, you know, I don't understand that.
Well, it concerns me that it seems to me that there's like, it's like you're saying, no, there's bigger trees. No, it's not the only one. No, I'm just telling you how I feel. No, it's not the best one. And we're saying, Mike grew up here. I spend tons of time in this forest. We're saying, listen, you guys, these are really nice trees. These are great trees. These trees belong here. It is a mistake to mark these trees. It is a mistake to cut them. We're trying to share information with you. You're making a mistake. I don't care about the science. That tree needs to live for another 200 or 300 or 400 years.
What I'm trying to understand is, it's this stand now, and then it'll be another stand at another time, and it'll be another stand at another time. And at what point is white pine, which is common on this forest, and which there are abundant 12 and 14-inch white pine scattered about the forest, at what point are all of those trees too sacred to cut?
If we were here hundreds of years ago, white pine on this ridgetop would be an important component of
Right.
most natural stands here. And it would be proper to get white pine back here again. And you don't do that by eliminating the seed source, especially the finest phenotypes in this stand.
We tried to tell you, look, there's less than 300 acres on this forest that are over 100 years old, that haven't been logged, that are not in protected areas. Less than 300 acres, okay? This is not a big deal. This is not something to have a war over. It's a simple, common sense suggestion to leave it alone, let it be, let it go. And now here these are, icons of what we're trying to save, symbols of the old forest, symbols of the bridge between the past and the future, and I don't understand how you can miss the fact that if these trees fall, you're going to have no credibility with anybody in this area ever again.
Because we live here, okay?
I'm
That's the
just
difference.
saying,
We live here,
you know?
we look at this hilltop. I drive down Logan Road, I can see the tops of these trees from down there. You know, and people for generations have been seeing the tops of these old pine up here. You know, and it's like, these are our old trees. These American people own these old trees. And it's not in our best interest to have these cut. we talk about old growth
I've
trees.
never understood old growth to be anything other than a stand scale, because
Okay.
old growth requires stand development processes that are more than just individual
Then
trees.
You say there's no old growth stands in this
Except
national
maybe
forest.
in the ravines.
Maybe in the ravine. And it seems that you're going to darn well ensure that this spot right here never achieves old growth.
I mean, it's not just a criticism and a bullheaded desire to change the system. It's an honest and sincere effort to improve the management of the forest. And it doesn't just take professionals, and it doesn't just take tree huggers. It takes the whole community working together.
This happens to be an area, management area, that has been designated as an area that we would manage for timber harvesting. Now, where that's clashing is, and it's been identified as a oak hickory type. Okay. Where that's clashing is here in this place, we have the stand of older trees, and we also have old white pine that has specific both spiritual values from what I'm hearing, as well as other intrinsic values to the
Definitely important
community.
ecological values. Sir.
Well, and certainly from a diversity value.
Yeah.
That's there. But I will definitely make a decision soon and let everybody know.
Okay.
The citizens were heard, and they were responded to in a flexible way. And I'll read you the decision that District Ranger Liu wrote. I'll read you the final part of it. It is my decision to protect the 12 white pines by removing them from the cotton mill timber sale and to replace the associated basal area with other hardwoods from within the same stands.